Okay, and so it looks like then I'm gonna go pick up Emmrich. I took Balar before and I was thinking of taking Tash this time, but I feel like taking Balar again since I haven't spent that much time with her. Actually, I'll take Tash. But let me pick up her side quest really quick.
Usually have to dodge traps and fight spiders to see this much old elven stuff. Talk to Isabella if you want to sell any of it. She'll get you a good deal.
Spoken like a veteran treasure hunter.
Yep, for gold and glory. The lords make runs no one else can. Isabella's undies would catch fire if she saw all this.
So why do the Lords of Fortune care enough about dragons to have a dedicated dragon hunter?
Lots of great old crap ends up in dragon hordes.
Why do dragons care about gathering treasure? It's not like they go to the market.
Dragons like metals and gems. Anything glittery catches their eye.
So they're like really large magpies?
Kinda. And they live for centuries. Lots of time to gather a bunch of shiny crap. Plus all the gear carried by idiots who thought they could kill a dragon.
Bet you deal with a lot of nasty traps during those treasure hunts.
Yep.
What's the most complicated one you've dealt with?
Old elven armory. Had letters on tiles. Probably supposed to spell out the name of a god or something.
Probably.
I don't read elven. Found handholds in the ceiling and swung across.
Well, that sounds more like a puzzle than a trap.
Ugh. Puzzles.
See, I like some puzzles, but not when they're just thrown in.
Right?
That's an awful
I ran
line
into
for
one
this
while
game.
traveling with Varric. It was one of those.
Why would
who
that's an
sits in which
awful
seat
line.
things.
Ugh. Where the guy with an axe has to sit to the left of the guy who likes brandy?
Oh, exactly. Who cares that much about seating arrangements? Why is that controlling the lock on an ancient treasure chest?
I don't like this.
Vashidon, just pick a chair.
Feel free to use the ancient elven artifacts for weight training, but nothing leaves with you, okay?
Don't worry about that. The Lords of Fortune aren't thieves.
I mean, aren't you, though?
Nah. Anything we hunt is salvage. Old forgotten ruins and crap. And we make sure we're not screwing over a culture that lost it. That's what my mother does with the Kunari stuff.
So your mother appraises Kunari artifacts the Lords of Fortune find?
Yeah. She tells them how rare something is. How much it might be worth. Also tells them if they found something cultural.
Cultural...
You know, important. Stuff you don't want going to some rich noble's collection. The lords send that stuff back to the Kunari in Parvalin. They pay the lords a finder's fee.
Interesting. The Lords do all this out of the goodness of their hearts?
We do get paid. Name another job where you get danger pay for killing giant spiders.
Right. For gold and glory.
The lords are good people. They helped my mother when she came here from Kantar. She got here with nothing but me and the clothes on her back. The only skill she had was Kunari history. The lords gave her work.
How does the Ravani Royal Guard feel about the Lords of Fortune?
They used to complain about us. But that was before the Antam invaded Vervain.
And now, Ravane sees the benefits of having a bunch of heavily armed people on their side.
Same for the Pirate Armada. It's bigger than Ravain's official navy. But we're also helping save old artifacts. The Antam are burning ruins as they move south. We get artifacts out before the Antam destroy them. Magical stuff. Cultural stuff. Stuff you don't want to lose.
All right. I guess I'll just leave you here. A treasure hunter with all the priceless artifacts.
Okay, I was gonna go back to Ravain later. Got a thing to do for my mother. You can come along, if you want.
Do I need to be ready for combat? Or traps?
Nah.
All right. Just let me know when.
I'll do that later. Already spent a lot of time in Ravane. I'm gonna check out these guys.
Hey, Valara. You know those elven power crystals we plug in to make bridges and open doors and stuff? Is there an elven word we're supposed to call them? To be more respectful?
Oh, well, yes, but no. The elven word for them is June Suladin Belinaris Ina Gilan Lasa Shiral.
Oof.
But mostly we just call them power crystals.
No kidding. That's even bigger than Canary words.
The elven word for the sockets is even longer.
You don't gotta say it. I believe you.
Okay. And it looks like the Illuvian's right here. The team enters the mysterious Grand Necropolis to recruit Fate expert Emmrich Volcarin, but evil mages have plans of their own.
This is it. But no sign of the professor.
I hope he's here and that he doesn't mind us disturbing him. He is a senior necromancer. I don't... Oh!
Visitors! What a marvelous surprise! Any trouble with the lift? Our last guests were stuck for hours. Poor souls. Oh. Professor Emmrich Volcarin of the Morn Watch.
Hello, Professor. We've never met, well, in person, but I've been writing to you.
Belara, my dear girl. What a pleasure. Surely you didn't come all this way just to see me.
Actually, we did. You see, we need a Fade expert.
I'm Rook.
Charmed.
I thought you were undead for a second.
Most Morn Watchers are just as alive as you or I.
Most?
I'd be pleased to continue our conversation after I tend to some small business here. I must investigate. Would you two mind accompanying me further into the shrouded halls?
Toward that screaming?
Something's gone awry in this part of the necropolis, Rook. The dead stir more easily than they should.
Ahead of us. Something's moving.
Strange. These halls should be under the protection of the bell.
Is that a despair demon?
Fascinating, isn't it? They shouldn't be able to breach the shrouded halls at all.
Take your word for it.
singled you out.
What? Where'd everyone go?
It's vital we discover why that spirit manifested here.
Lead the way, Professor.
This doesn't look like anything I've ever seen before in Dragon Age, besides like maybe it kind of reminds me of Orzammar, but like the deep, more so the deep roads, not the city.
Someone's barred the door and chained the sunken star.
There's undead here.
We may need to defend ourselves depending on their condition.
Haven't fought undead in a while.
There's no reaching these. They're mindless.
What are they doing? Make them stop!
I'm afraid sometimes the weaker dead work themselves into frenzies. Poor things.
That didn't work.
I must free that bell.
Need some help?
Thank you. The star, the bell, can banish these despair spirits if we unchain it. We'll need a wisp to unseal the doors leading out. Could you please find one and bring it here?
Okay. How?
Give your greetings, and the wisp will follow.
Hello.
Wisps are the simplest of spirits, but quite helpful. Bring the wisp here, and we can unseal the doors.
The overall tone, like the dialogue and the music, kind of feels too whimsical for something like
Doors
Dragon
open.
Age.
Where to now?
This should lead us to the upper chambers, where we can free the bell. There's someone I'd like to consult with on the way.
Am I gonna know this person?
So, Professor,
Just Emmrich, please.
you weren't that surprised we need a Fade expert.
The spirits talk. Even the simplest have been clamoring about chaos in the Fade. Someone coming to consult wasn't an if, so much as a when. Kill the dead!
Ow.
Gonna be taking fire! We're got him good there.
Okay, so what do you do? Just apply his weakness and quietus, whatever that is. Maybe it's a silence type thing.
Set them one up! Nicely done, Tosh!
Okay.
Okay. Chakra to Ebra.
Did Balara just leave? So I need to get another wisp. These halls feel very large. This feels like the deep roads.
It's freezing. What's doing this?
Echoes of the despair spirits, misery devouring itself. We should keep our distance. If provoked, these manifestations will shatter.
This is locked too. And I didn't see any wisps around.
Then I shall call for aid.
Are you gonna?
Can't do this without a wisp.
You gonna call for aid? Thank you.
They've answered. We'll need to guide the wisps who've just arrived to the door.
Can I pick up multiple of
Those
them?
wisps really came just because you asked.
They care for us, Rook. Our ever-loyal friends amongst the dead.
Can't do this without a wisp.
Say it again, Rook, please. I didn't understand.
Here's our second wisp.
Hey, desk guy. Is it staring at me?
It is aware of your presence, but a wisp's senses differ from our own.
As long as it doesn't sense its way into making a corpse walk around.
There's the last wisp.
Good. Let's return to the door. Strange. This door shouldn't be here.
Shouldn't it?
The necropolis rearranges itself every so often.
Okay. I guess it does. Okay. Can I not climb this? Why are you freaking out? Hey. No, we
Well
don't.
done. Past these chambers, we'll find some assistance with reaching the bell. Despair is far more pervasive than I'd thought. We must stop who's ever drawing these spirits here, Rook.
You think a person's behind all the despair demons?
Oh yes. Mortals are their prime attraction.
Eyes up.
They attack from a distance!
Let's go! Watch for incoming!
I die.
We have them now!
how do we get rid of all these despair demons?
Their source is near the bell you saw earlier. Ringing it will banish them, but we must find who lured them there in the first place. Tell me, Rook, where are you from?
Spent some time in Arlathan.
The old elven forest? You must tell me about your journeys once we're above ground.
It didn't happen that much in Inquisition, but I miss when they let me choose dialogue in the open world. Like, again, it didn't happen that much in Inquisition, but like, I just don't see why they took it away other than it feels like they got rid of it just to cut corners. Like, little things like that, it just makes the RPG aspect, the role-playing aspect, a lot worse.
Ah, here we are. This is where we'll learn who summoned these despair spirits.
But how?
You must open yourself to possibilities while in the necropolis. Would you mind lighting those braziers, Rook?
Once I loot your place. The feelings this game is giving me is similar to that of like launch day Cyberpunk, where it was far more of an action adventure type game rather than a role-playing game. Optimistic plaque, a home in life, a birth and death, a house of many mansions. Doesn't look like there's a puzzle in this room. Okay, this may be a puzzle.
This should unseal our final pass to the bell. It's best we unchain it quickly.
Why is this bell so important?
The sunken star will drive away despair. Any malicious spirit that hears the tolling of the bell will be banished to the Fane.
But it won't destroy them? Them being here isn't their fault.
No. In this instance, banishment will suffice. Though, forgive me, I had the impression our denizens unnerved you?
I'm from Ravain. Spirits are okay, so long as they're not walking corpses around.
Judgment lies with the dead.
Excellent. Approach the body and we'll begin.
Is this gonna be your buddy? I don't remember his name.
By seal and flame, who brought despair in our midst?
Okay.
Despair? Who brought it in? The Venatori. Of course. This way, please.
What did you just do?
The colloquial term is corpse whispering, a gift that manifested with my magic.
Corpses talk to you? That's messed up.
Oh, there's no danger in it, I assure you.
That's not the messed up part.
It's been a long time since I played Inquisition, and the story didn't really resonate with me, so I didn't
Think I
really
hear
absorb
someone.
it.
This map is useless. We wasted 3 slaves in those traps.
Like, I don't
If
know
that hand of glory burns down,
who the Venatori are and what their motivations are. Hello.
We found those Venatori.
They have no place in these halls.
Oops. I keep trying to jump to dodge.
Now put him down.
Ready again?
You.
Good work, Rook.
Are you gonna... What the hell was that?
Kick the crap out of him. Kill them where they
Solid blow. Look out behind you.
What are the Venatori after? Gold? Artifacts?
Raw magic. Their first envoys were obsessed with gathering power for some new masters.
Ah, I'll fill you in on them later.
I hear a despair spirit.
I got stuck.
Everyone's ready?
Good hit! Well, down one more despair demon. That's the last of them.
I see something in the crypt.
I don't think they're Venatori.
Dorian? Doesn't look like it. Is it Dorian? Oh no, that's Emmrich. You ran ahead.
Hello? Did the Venatori bring you here?
They said I'd spilled the wine too many times. That I'd be a better sacrifice than slave.
You are in Navarra, sir. There are no slaves on our soil. Please remain here. After we've seen to the rest of the Venatori, I'll send for someone to escort you above.
Oh,
Above.
all right.
So are we?
Those Venatori
Are we in the
trapped
deep roads?
that man down here just to die.
The Watchers will shelter him. We'll inquire if he has any family in Minrathous. As for the Venatori, what remains of them will be put to work.
Gone to the upper chambers to investigate a noise. With luck, it's only one of those lumbering Navarran corpses. What a sight. Throw my body to the flames like we do in the rest of the civilized world.
This looks interesting.
A spirit labyrinth? I didn't know they'd learned to make miniature ones into Winter.
What's this?
A vessel to store the magic the Venatori intended to siphon away from us. The sunken star can help us if we break the Venatori's chains.
Right. There's one chain.
Excellent.
Guests!
What? Why? Oh no, don't do this to me. Don't start healing.
Got it.
Ready for a fight?
Needs assistance. End them quickly.
That's the last chain.
We must return to lower level to ring the bell.
Do I drop down? Hmm? It feels like I dropped down. Was I supposed to talk to you? Emmrich, please come down here. He's not moving.
Be ready. The ritual to wake the bell will draw Despair's attention.
And any more Venatori.
I'll need you to keep them occupied while I work.
There's some serious magic you just did there.
There's the Venatori. How are we doing, Emmrich?
The bell is slowly awakening, but we must fight a little longer.
Venatori brought demons.
Typical of them.
fire demon.
Hold fast.
So, is this a despair demon or just a generic? Not despair. A rage demon or just a typical generic fire demon? Oh, I thought it was gonna.
Ready and waiting.
Good shot.
Ow. I can't really use my stuff because enemies aren't moving up.
Emmrich, now what?
Now, the grand necropolis shows itself.
The magic bell worked. The despair demon's pissed off.
Pretty impressive.
Thank you, but come, let's ensure these cultists didn't leave anything dangerous behind. I'll ask our attendants to gather their bodies later, of course.
If you're gonna give me a new staff this early, why not just make it his default staff? I mean, I guess you want to give me variety early.
And this is a severed hand.
It can't be. A hand of glory? The Venatori should never have this. I must find out where it came from. Let me know when you'd like to return to the chambers above.
Let's get back to the lighthouse.
You can tell me why you've sought out a Fade expert on the way?
I know it's a lot, but I swear we've seen the blighted elven gods ourselves.
It would explain recent Oniric disruptions.
At the least. The implications of what Rook's witnessed are... Ah, thank you, Manfred.
It is Manfred.
Well, hi. And thanks.
You spoke of danger to the Fae.
What the hell was
The
that
elven gods
noise?
plan to tear it wide open to get to the blight. And they've already messed with it. Demons, tears in reality. Our team needs a Fade expert.
Many Watchers never depart Navara. But with events so dire,
I'd be delighted to assist.
It has been many years since you left us.
Well, yes, but elven gods, ancient magics. I couldn't bear miss this. Besides, I've spent my life exploring the Fade and speaking to spirits. If Rook needs an expert, none are better qualified than I.
Only if your assistant's coming.
Manfred? But of course.
Welcome aboard.
Wonderful. I'll gather my things. Come, Manfred.
Dude, that's gross.
The Grand Necropolis was at peace again, and Emmrich was off to a new adventure. But in Navarra, nothing stays down for long. The Venatori had unearthed something no one should have, and delivered it to the worst possible person. Emmrich's journey would soon bring him face to face with the gloaming lantern.
What the Venatori ultimately intended with their incursions into the necropolis worries me. Whether or not it was directed by the gods, the timing serves them well. Chaos, I fear, is their ally.
With this, Demeter's Crossing and the Blighted Dragons, and everything else we're all dealing with, feels like we're at war. A lot of little wars.
So I think we have everyone. I can't help but feel like it feels very empty. I don't know. It doesn't feel like there's anything that ties us all together. It doesn't really feel like we're close. And I don't know, the space is very large. If I'm gonna compare this to like Origins, like it's about the same amount of people, right? I don't know, it felt a lot fuller. It felt a lot fuller because I feel like each companion had their own individual reason for being there. These people are kind of here out of circumstance, but not really any individual motivation. Davrin, I mean, his motivation is the Griffins, but like without that, like he'd be kind of here out of obligation. Tash is here because we need a dragon fighter, but it doesn't feel like she needs to be here. Like if we're gonna compare her to Sten, Sten joins us kind of out of necessity, because it's either he stays and dies or he joins you, but also he joins you out of curiosity to see if the Grey Wardens are all that they're made out to be, and satisfy his anxiety about the Blight. Because he's a warrior, but then he's kind of going up against something that like seems kind of hopeless. And like Balara's here, I guess. I don't see why Balara is here. I don't know. I guess I probably missed something, but it doesn't feel like she needs to be here. Like she's only here because for like her knowledge of artifacts, but then you could kind of just mix her character and Emmrich's character together, and then you'd kill two birds with one stone. The Canis also doesn't really need to be here. He's just an assassin. And Harding, I feel like, is only here out of obligation because she used to be a part of the Inquisition, and she had a bit of a distant relationship to Solus, and then Varric obviously a little bit more of a closer relationship. But I don't know, this group of characters doesn't feel... It's the same size as all the other Dragon Age companions, but it doesn't feel as well put together. And it just feels like they needed a bunch of roles and then had characters that already fit it, so they just put them in, but they don't really have reason to be here. And my character especially does not need to be here. I'm here because of just some random story that I did not experience, and Varric is just like, oh, well, I guess I need you. While in, like, Origins, each respective origin had their own motivation to becoming a Grey Warden, or to not become one, but they had to become one out of circumstance. And a reason to stop the Blight, out of either out of duty or out of personal reason. I'm like, what, 25, maybe nearly 30 hours into this game, and I'm not feeling any attachment to any of these characters except for, like, Varric. And because of that attachment, I want Varric to die, because now I just don't really have any investment in this story so far. Okay. Feels like we're at war. A lot of little wars.
Didn't take the gods long to attract support from all the worst people in Thedas.
They're offering power to anyone who wants it.
The Venatori and Antam won't question what it will cost.
So how do we fight back then?
We don't have an army, but we do have allies, like the Veil Jumpers.
After Demeter's crossing, it's personal for them.
The Crows, particularly after we helped save their city.
Thea and Viago know what is owed. They will make good on that debt.
Also, Lady Morrigan requested a meeting at the Cobbled Swan in Minrathous.
Could she have found some trace of the gods?
Probably. Morrigan doesn't visit crowded taverns for fun.
I also heard from Grey Wardens out in the Hossberg wetlands, Antoine and Evka. Something strange is happening with the Blight there. I bet it involves the gods.
The first warden didn't seem impressed the last time we met.
I heard he told you to piss up a rope.
Will he be in the wetlands?
I don't keep track, but he can't stop you from asking a few questions, if we're fast enough.
Any details on the Blight in the wetlands?
Antoine said he didn't write it down.
Why not?
Either he didn't trust someone else wouldn't read the note, or he didn't want us to panic.
Gillenane has laid low since we hurt her dragon, but the Blight spreads rot wherever the gods go.
And no one's better at tracking Blight than Wardens.
Morrigan and those Wardens feel like our best leads on finding the gods.
Are they really gods? Or just ancient mages? It's not clear.
They're gods. Or the closest damn thing to them.
Nev, you're back.
Yeah, I am.
I'm not sorry, Nev. I'm just joking.
Good to have you back. This is Professor Emmrich Volkarin, our Fade expert, and Tosh, our dragon hunter. They joined while you were away.
Hey.
Charmed.
Right. Not everyone has met.
So you're a dragon hunter? Minrathous could have used you.
What's going on?
What?
Back home. What isn't? Look, you made an impossible call without enough information. I get it. It's the corner the gods put us in. It just might take time to shake off.
You are back though, right?
Yeah, Belle. I'm back.
Don't leave again? That's... I did not...
Given how things
okay,
have gone,
I didn't mean to
wouldn't
say
blame
that,
you for
but that's
staying
fine.
away. So, thanks. We can't do this without you.
After what happened to Minrathous, I've got even more reason to go after the gods. If anyone's got a shot at this, it's the people here. I'm still on the job.
Can you be angry,
Count on it.
please?
Great. Let's follow up on some leads.
I'll let Lady Morrigan know we're ready to meet.
I'll send word to Antoine and Evka. They're holed up in a town called Lavendel.
Everyone else should rest up. Be ready to move when I call.
As it felt like I've had to make a difficult decision, even choosing between Treviso and Doctor
Never
wasn't
easy,
that hard.
is it, kid?
What do you mean?
Making the big choices, then living with the consequences.
I don't care. So far, I haven't really cared about any decision. Like, I definitely don't expect this game to have a freaking Connor moment.
If I don't make the tough decisions, no one else will. So I live with the consequences.
And you don't blame anyone else for them. That's why I recruited you. Anyway, you've got a meeting with Morrigan to attend, and dealing with whatever the
That's why I
Wardens
did this
found.
thing you did not
All this
experience.
chatting is taking it out of me. Think I'll rest for a bit. Good work, Rook. You'll find your way through this. I know it.
Drawing on his necromantic powers, Emmrich banished the despair demons infesting the shrouded halls and drove out the invading Venatori. Learning that malevolent ancient gods are causing chaos in the Fade, The professor joined the team to help stop these mystical threats to creation. Unbeknownst to him, the Venatori plot is the beginning of a chain of events that will lead Emmrich to a dark figure from his past. She's hardened. After experiencing the Blighted Dragon attack in Minrathis, Nev is less trusting and more self-reliant. Her damaging abilities are increased, but she will no longer use supportive abilities, and relationship progress is slowed. Okay, let me just catch up on everyone at the lighthouse. Been a while. Hey, Tash. We've been trying to get supplies to the crows in Treviso, but the crows who were supposed to pick up the supplies here in Ravane never reported in. If you and your fancy new friends have the time, could you check it out? The drop point was over on the coast.
Hey, you heard of the Hall of Valor? It's a fighting arena with the lords.
Interesting.
Just tell me when you're ready.
I don't want to do it. So this is Emmrich's room.
A third edition of the Unnameable Elements? I didn't even know it had editions.
Oh, it's much improved with the index. Please, borrow it if you'd like.
I'd love to. Oh, Rook, you probably wanted to say hi. Thanks, Professor.
You look moved in.
Just a few essentials. Manfred was a great help with the boxes. What a fascinating place this lighthouse is. What do you make of it?
It's like a dying pug.
I should take you to some of the weirder places I discovered with the Veil Jumpers.
Would you? Belara's tales of Arlathan have been astonishing.
I'll bet. The wonders she could show you.
Oh, Belara's been very welcoming, but I noticed a few of the others taken aback by Manfred, and I overheard remarks about my skulls. My necromancy won't cause any undue worry, will it?
No way!
Oh.
But a few people might not get it.
Oh. I'd hope to make a good first impression.
Belara's excited you're here. Everyone else just has to get to know you.
You're so gross,
Excuse
Manfred.
me? Manfred and I should finish our inventory. Thank you for
The
stopping
noises
by.
he's making. Hello, Manfred. Do you just walk around with that?
By the way, Rook, before I left, Myrna and Veilguard asked if we could assist with an outbreak of hauntings across Thedas. They also mentioned displaced wisps in the necropolis. I'm not sure what's frightened them, but it bears investigation.
Hauntings and scared wisps? Let's look into it.
Thank you. We'll depart for the necropolis whenever you're ready.
I think what I'll do, since I think I'm about to get a lot of side quests, I think I'll continue on with the main quest for a bit, and then continue on with all the side stuff. I forgot about Varric. I think he may have had something.
You know,
Anything?
Rook, every time I think I've got a handle on how weird magic is, it just gets weirder.
Look, I'm back and I'm on the job. That's all I want to say about it right now.
Hey, Lucanus, you haven't seen a glowing crystal, have you? About this big?
In the pantry?
It, might be moving around. Crawling, even.
I'll keep watch.
What? Did you bring all this? Why do you have a bunch of freaking vases? What is this? Where's the griffin? Where are you?
Rook, I was thinking of taking Hassan for a walk. He could use the exercise. Chance to stretch his wings. Thought you'd like to come along.
Did I see you writing a message to the Inquisition? What's that about?
You know, Varric and I were part of the Inquisition, right? I'm trying to get news about the South. But Charter hasn't replied to any of my messages. I'm trying not to worry about what's happening there, but... No, it's probably fine. Charter's just busy. She's always busy.
Charter... who's that?
She's the Inquisition's spy master. Or she would be, if there was still an Inquisition. I suppose she just works for the Inquisitor now?
I haven't heard much about the Inquisition in years.
Oh, that's intentional. When the breach was open, we needed a large group to stop Southern Thedas from falling into chaos. It's changed in the years since. We're a smaller force working underground to keep an eye on things going on in the world.
A spy master? She doesn't know things about me, does she? Do I need to worry?
Charter probably knows everything about you. Oh, but she's not gonna use it against you. I mean, if you behave.
So how long were you with the Inquisition? 10 years?
Something like that. Why?
You must know the Inquisitor.
Well, yeah, we worked together. I wasn't part of the Inquisitor's inner circle, though. I spent more time with the ordinary people, the ones you didn't hear about.
So tell me about these ordinary Inquisition members I haven't heard about.
The Inquisition hired hundreds, and most of them weren't Magisters or Ben Hasrith or the left hand of the Divine. There were scouts and stable hands, carpenters and cooks and quartermasters, even 2 dedicated pastry chefs. Most of them volunteered, like me. We wanted to help in whatever small way we could.
I've heard stories. Some of the older Veil Jumpers remember dealing with rifts.
Nothing like demon-spitting sky holes to bring people together, huh? I made friends. Rector, Faulkner, others.
Rector, Faulkner...
Liliana gave all her agents pseudonyms.
Right, like Charter.
Well, Charter's Charter, but when the other 2 and I were together, we were just Lace, Wilbur, and Katya.
But you did know people from the Inquisitor's inner circle, didn't you?
I knew them, sure, but those early days, all I wanted was to prove myself and not get in anyone's way. Some of them were more approachable than others. Sarah was a puppy with a new toy. 100 new toys. Fun, if you can handle the mess. She was really the only one who could make Rainier, well, Blackwall then, let down his guard. Otherwise, he kept to himself and stuck to the stables. We'd talk when I visited the horses. And there was Cole, of course.
The spirit boy?
Yep. I was just sitting on the walls one day, and he asked if he could join my
Was
game.
Cole just
Like a card game?
public knowledge?
Just good old people
I feel
watching.
like...
Must have seemed like a game to him somehow. We'd pick strangers out of the crowd and try to say something about them. Like, ooh, she heard the joke yesterday and she's still trying not to laugh. or one of Cole's. His eyes remind her of the ones beneath her bed.
What?
I have so many questions.
I wish it would just say what the thing says.
Believe me, I did too.
Cole didn't elaborate?
I think I prefer the mystery. Don't you?
Wasn't Cole an empath? He must have been great at this game.
Aha, but the rule was you couldn't say anything you actually knew. He got it in the end. I think.
So you didn't ask him if he guessed right?
Well, being right wasn't the point. Making a habit of seeing people was. I think he liked that. It's why you don't miss.
I don't like how Rook just talks. I wanna choose what to say. I don't like how Rook makes jokes on her own. How start asking questions I don't care about. Or just says something that I don't want them to say. Like, oh my god. I just do not get the push for this dialogue wheel. Well, the dialogue wheel isn't the issue. It's like the voiced protagonist and then just the constant stripping of player agency.
And the Inquisitor's advisors? What about them?
Of all of them, I'd say Josephine is my favorite. She's lovely. She still sends me a box of handmade sweets from Val Royeaux every year on my name day. Cullen and I got along too, but he was always busy. He would have bad days from lyrium withdrawal sometimes, and I would share the tea that my ma sent. He's from Ferelden too. Maybe it reminded him of home.
What about Leliana? I heard she's intense.
I think she likes to cultivate that reputation. She's not nearly as terrifying as she sounds. Oh, I passed her in the Great Hall one day, and she suddenly turned and asked me if I wanted a nug.
A nug? Those small pink rodent things? What for?
She loved them and made a hobby of breeding them as pets.
So did you take the nug?
No! What am I gonna do with a nug?
Do you miss it? The Inquisition, I mean.
It's hard to miss an organization. They're only as good as their people, don't you think? But I do miss my friends. We write each other, but it's not the same. And the Inquisition is different from what we've built here. Not better or worse, just different. It's special when you're among people working toward the same goal.
Not everyone. There was Solus. What did you really think of him back then?
Lonely. He always seemed lonely. It's hard not to be when you hold yourself above everyone else.
He might be lonely, but I doubt he cares. He's single-minded. Nothing else matters besides his crusade.
Because it's the only thing he's had. My ma used to say, a caged dog forgets there's grass outside. Anyway, I'm sure something out there's on fire, and here I am rambling about the past. I should let you go. Talk later?